Yeah, well, a big win for you this evening. Obviously, very impressive, not only how you got it done, but I just know that it was important to you as well to get a win. So how are you feeling right now?
I feel really good. It's going to come to me. I got to look at the tape. I wanted to be out there a little sharper, but I had a little ring rust on me. The guy is really tough that I fought. He's a bruiser, you know, and he'll hurt you real good. And we knew that coming in, but like as I started to strike with him, I realized that he was just as tentative as I was a little bit, and then I said, just calm down a little bit. And I think that he knew that the punches were going to come straight down the middle because, you know, I have more of a boxing background. So we worked on looping our punches sometimes, you know, because they don't see those coming. So we threw a curveball at him, ducked him, and when I looked down, he was gone.
When you say it like that, it sounds like you thought, you know, striking might be a big part of your victory. I know personally, I thought you probably wouldn't want to stand toe-to-toe with a killer like that. Let's show the jiu-jitsu game. Mm-hmm. Did you plan on showing jiu-jitsu and then you decided on the fly, or did you know you could strike?
We planned on taking him down, obviously, because that's where his weakness is. But, you know, I have such a reputation for doing that guys are going to be sticking arms out, you know, and it's hard to, you know, just try to grapple guys. They push you off, you get hit and stuff like that, you know, so it'll take down your energy meter a little bit. But I can strike, you know, and I let everybody know that I can do that. I think my last fight, I hopefully let everybody, before I lost, you know, in this one, you know, put a staple on it. You know, I got hands.
You mentioned the ring rust, so I mean, did it feel a little, the timing was a little off at first?
Yeah, just being in the UFC a little bit, like I was calm, but like just being out there again, I needed that, you know, so now I'm gonna get out there. You know, it's a confidence booster, you know. Anytime you come off a win, is obviously you're gonna, you know, compete a little bit better than coming off a loss. You're worried about certain things, and you know, worried about those things happening again and repeating, you know.
Was this result really important? I felt like all week kind of talking to you and seeing like there was a little bit of an edge to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was really important. I trained really, really hard for him. I know in the past I had my last opponent had got switched up with, you know, Yoel Romero's a savage, and you know, I've been training real hard, you know, and I just want to make an impression on my fans on the UFC, you know, and let them know that, like, I'm really here to stay and not just eke out decisions and have boring fights and stuff like that. I'm capable of more than that, you know.
Yeah. And where do you feel like you go from here? I mean, as you said, you had a long layoff because of the canceled fight. I mean, do you feel like you need to make up some time? You need to stay busy to keep the rhythm? What do you feel like the next move is?
I'd like to stay busy. I'm going to take a little bit of time off because I'm moving. I just had my son. You know, so I'm going to enjoy him for a little bit, and I'm going to be right back to training again as soon as I get, you know, my leg is all better. And I'd like to climb, you know. If the UFC deems it fit for me to be able to do so, that's what I'd like to do.
You know, you've been in this building in Atlantic City before as well, in the previous promotion where you held 2 belts in 2 different weight classes consecutively. And now you're back in the UFC, you know, kind of feel a little full circle for you. You know, you were here on your way to getting those titles, and now you're back in Atlantic City kind of thinking that next step up the rankings.
Yeah, that stuff that I did in the past, that stuff is done. And now I'm taking it from like a new standpoint, like I'm fresh, I'm brand new, and I need to do all these things over again. I can't just keep talking about like stuff that I did from the past, you know. And yes, it feels like everything came full circle, but now I feel like I have to make a new legacy in the UFC. It's like this is a new place, and those things that I did back there are done, you know, and they were good, but now I want to do some big things here, and I'm just taking it one step at a time.
You mentioned you want to stay busy. Is there like a number in your mind, or like a timetable that you want to stay busy? Because a lot of guys, they throw out numbers like 2 or 3 a year or X number of months. Is there a number that you're really comfortable with?
Absolutely. 3 times for me is good because I'm 36. I have a gym that I'm running and I have a family active. You know, I think that that's pretty active for a fighter to do 3 times a year. So hopefully the UFC seems fit for me to be able to get 2 more fights this year.
How has your life changed since now that you have a family? Obviously, as a fighter, when you first started, it was different. Now, you're 36 years old, life's a little different for you. So how has having a family and having the gym, how has all that changed who you are?
I mean, you're more of a role model. You got to watch how you behave. You know, those things make waves. You know, there's a lot of little children and a lot of young guys and young women that like look up to the fighters and stuff like that. So I just want to set a good example. You have so many fighters out here trying to just be something that they're not, and I just want to show them that you can just be human, you know, and you can just be who you are, you know, and love it or hate it. You know, it's just more genuine, and just be humble, you know, that's it. You know, we're all out here trying to feed our families and do the same thing, you know, so it's no need to get off the hinge.
You talked this week about like not having the Hollywood side or whatever.
No, man.
I wonder, so is it, I mean, did somebody pull you aside and tell you, or did you look in the mirror like with the family? I mean, what happened?
Self-reflection, man, did that, you know, self-reflection, you know. There's no need for it, you know. There's no need for it.